being a public figure, then every corporation that is a major broadcaster would be bankrupt, because how many times they called President Trump Hitler or a fascist? Those are not true statements, but you get away with a lot of rhetoric when it is a public figure.
I see a lot of conversation happening right now on our YouTube channel. Hey, look, thousands of you join us, by the way, each and every day. Thousands live, and then hundreds of thousands later on. 470,000 of you have subscribed to this channel. I think it's 469. Let's get that to 470. How about you help us out? Subscribe. I know about half of you are not subscribed right now. There's a lot of comments going, well, don't they have broadcast things they have, rights in the FCC? Well, these are cable outlets, so the rules are a lot less. These are private companies. These are not over-the-air broadcasts. Look, is it archaic? Maybe that we have those different rules? Yeah, probably in 2025. Do I think the FCC should exist? Yes. Do I actually think they should be a little looser than they are a lot of times? Also, yes. I think some of the rules and regulations are, like I said, very archaic. But remember, you're dealing with a different situation when you're watching your local news or even NBC News on the weekends, whatever, than you are in MSNBC, or you are a CNN, or a Fox News for that matter. There's a lot less regulation. There still is some, but a lot less regulation. Phone lines are open for you, by the way, right now at 1-800-684-3110. I did want to move us a little bit, because obviously Tulsi's a friend. She's been on this show for a number of years, obviously had to leave the show due to, I don't know, being confirmed as the Director of National Intelligence. But you know, it doesn't mean we can't have other Directors of National Intelligence. That's why we got Rick Grenell joining us a little bit later on the show. But that being said, there's been a lot of conversation around the tariffs, a lot of conversations at the stock market. You know, your liberal friends 2 days ago said it was the end of the world and Donald Trump, had to destroy the economy. Then yesterday, the stock market roared back. Then today, it's kind of evened out. You know what? That's the volatility of investing. That is part of the game. It is also, though, a direct indication that people are coming to the table. And we've seen that now. We've even seen China say, you know what? We're willing to talk, which is what this was all about.
That's right. So the U.S. economic advisor to the White House economic advisor, Kevin Hassett, has said that there are more than 15 countries that have made explicit offers that they're studying and concerning offers of a deal.
Have reached out.
That's right. So you're looking at a large portion that are coming to the table with, as they said, explicit offers like, here is the deal that we can make. And that prompted the pause. There is also, the bond market was a little topsy-turvy, and that also the White House reacted to that, seeing that the bond market was in a bad place, which is a different situation, because that's leveraged debt around the world that could also, and so they were like, look, these people are coming with good faith offer, let's pause these and keep moving forward. And also, China, you're up to now 124%, something like that.
Yeah, something wild. And look, I know that's hurting a lot of people too, a lot of small businesses, so hopefully this can get taken care of shortly. I don't want to laugh that off. By the way, we're going to continue this conversation, but we're also going to be joined by Cece Heil, one of our senior attorneys here at the ACLJ, to give you an update on a few things the ACLJ is doing around the world, of course, here at home, and of course, at our European Center. Because remember, when you support the work of the ACLJ, you also support the European Center for Law and Justice, ACLJ Jerusalem, and other offices around the planet. We are there for you, spreading your values, and we can't do it without you. So I encourage you right now to go to aclj.org. Make your donation. Scan the QR code. We got about a minute break coming up, so it's a perfect time to make that donation, to have your donation impact doubled right now.
Hey everyone, this is Jordan Seculo. You've spoken and we've heard you loud and clear. That's why this month we're doing something big. We're proud to announce our brand new ACLJ Life and Liberty Drive. Our legal teams will be focusing on the issues that you, our ACLJ members, have told us matter the most to you. Life and religious liberty. We're redoubling our efforts to beat back the radical left's attack on your constitutional religious freedoms and to defend the sanctity of human life. Life and liberty are the cornerstones of our great nation, but they're not guaranteed. When the values we hold dear are under attack, it's up to all of us to take a stand or risk losing them forever. This is not just a call to fund our legal battles. This is your moment to get the fight. Just as before, every tax-deductible gift will be doubled, dollar for dollar, through the ACLJ Life and Liberty Drive, giving you twice the impact to defend your freedoms and help us fight to literally save lives. Join the ACLJ in the fight to keep America free.
Champions aren't born. Champions are ordinary people just like you. who choose to do the extraordinary, to go the extra mile, to do what is right no matter the cost. It can be a difficult choice, but one any of us can make, including you. You can make a difference. You can be a champion. The legal battles we fight and the victories we've won are only possible because of the support of ACLJ members like you. But many of our cases take not only weeks, but months and sometimes years. By setting up a monthly donation, ACLJ champions ensure we have the resources we need to take on these critical legal battles and win. By becoming a monthly donor, you become a champion of life, a champion of liberty, and a champion of freedom. Become an ACLJ champion today. Go to aclj.org/champion.
Welcome back to Seculo. Stay on hold if you're on hold, because we are going to get to your calls a little bit later in the show. So stay on hold if you're Ken, Victor, Bill. We got a couple lines open at 1-800-684-3110. I did want to talk about some work the ACLJ is doing. You may not be thinking about the next election already. And look, if you aren't thinking about it, that's probably good. Probably good for your mental health. That is not on your mind, that we're not in election year every 5 days, it feels like. Because, man, there are stuff happening right now that the ACLJ is getting involved in, and this comes out of Oklahoma, of all places. You wouldn't necessarily expect that to be where things can get hairy. Now, look, this gets a bit in the weeds. So I want you to stick with us, and CC Hiles joining us to explain it all. Because this really has to do with what qualifies you to be a member, not even a member, but to be the nominee for your specific party. And why that's important, we'll break that down. Because you may say, hey, look, that's freedom of whatever. I want to be able to just say I'm this, I'm that. There shouldn't be these qualifications. Well, the problem is you can have a lot of nefarious things happen. A lot of disruptors come in who are not there for the proper reasons. Let's break this down. Cece, what started us from the top?
Yeah, so Oklahoma has an initiative petition, which basically is saying that you don't have to be or gain approval from a political party. So if you're a Democrat or if you're a Republican, you don't have to have approval from the Democrat Party or the Republican Party to have your name on the ballot as a Republican or a Democrat. And that is an initiative that is in Oklahoma. So we filed yesterday with the Supreme Court of Oklahoma saying, you know, that violates, and we represent the Oklahoma Republican Party, that violates our clients' First Amendment rights. They get the right to choose who their person is that gets on the primary. They get to choose that person. And that also tells the voter that this person that's on the ballot aligns with the morals and the values and the beliefs of the Republican Party or the Democrat Party. So you can't just go on and, if you're a Democrat, run as a Republican.
And Cece, as we see in many states, that even a lot of times the Democrat Party and the Republican Party, the parties run the primary even differently. And we saw that very much alive in the 20... different of when the primary was held for the party.
of the United Nations. And in a 5-year period, we will review all 193 member states at the UN. And so this one, it's 3 times a year that we submit this. It's 14 countries. And we focus, like you said, on their human rights records, specifically Christian persecution, but we also target abortion, pro-life issues, human trafficking, and child marriages. And so in these 14 reports, we highlighted that. And what's interesting is Belarus, Maldives, Honduras, and Libya, those were the countries that had Christian persecution issues. But the United States of America was in this round as well. And although our UPR 5 years ago, we were able to commend the United States on its human rights record, this year we were able to show that under the Biden administration, and I'm going to go through these quickly, but it was, 14 TSA employees could not attend church, and you had libraries that wouldn't let Bible studies, and senior living centers that wouldn't allow Bible studies, and the DOJ going after pro-life demonstrators, and you had 436 instances against churches in 2023 alone. You had a school teacher that couldn't pray before a flagpole, military labeling pro-lifers as terrorists, FBI asking banks to bring up information on those who purchased a Bible or who, had MAGA associated with them, FBI targeting Catholics, and hospitals requiring healthcare providers to promote abortion. Those are just a few of the things that we were able to point out on the Christian persecution that was happening under the Biden administration, and how it has now changed. Also, we were able to commend, again, the Trump administration coming in and correcting all of those human rights violations.
And Logan, one other important thing is that, as Cece mentioned, we do review each and every country. Not every group does that. And when we do that, it gives us credibility at the UN that we are paying attention and we are filing in these. So our credibility also gets raised, and it allows us to do more work to help protect the persecuted around the world because of that credibility.
Yeah, and that's absolutely because of you. I'm going to ask to throw up that QR code right now because we are headed to a break. And some of you may lose us here if you do find us broadcasting live on aclj.org or YouTube. Right now, though, the left is clearly in a relentless attack on our constitutional republic, and that's why we're continually battling numerous fights to defend our life and liberty here and abroad. Of course, you just heard what we're doing at the UN. You heard what we're doing in Oklahoma. Again, we can do things on a worldwide scale, and we can do things on a local scale. You can support that church, and you can support the President of the United States. Scan the QR code, make your donation double. We'll be back in just under a minute. Perfect time to make that donation.
Your restoration station, AM 770, KAAM. Coming up on Real Life Radio.
Jesus is saying, listen, your Father in heaven, ask, knock, seek, go after him. He wants to answer you. So what's going on here? None other than encouragement to pray, to engage ourselves now and to be encouraged to be persistent at prayer.
For more with Pastor Jack Hibbs, tune in to Real Life, weekdays at 8 a.m. only on KAAM.
Keeping you informed and engaged. Now more than ever. This is Seculo. And now your host, Logan Seculo.
Second half hour Seculo coming up right now. Rick Riddell's going to be joining us in the next segment. We're also going to hear from you at 1-800-684-3110. I like to say it a little slower that time because people say, Logan, you say it too fast. Well, you know what? You've been saying it for 25 years. Sometimes you say it a little too fast. Will Haynes is joining me in studio right now. We're all going to take some of those calls. Some of you called related to the Tulsi Gabbard situation where she is pushing to potentially sue CNN for releasing some information and really defaming a lot of her character. Let's go ahead and go to Bill in Wyoming on line 3. Bill, welcome.
Hi, thanks for taking my call. Well, actually, I've got 2 comments. First of all, if you wouldn't mind doing me a favor and passing this on to Tulsi Gabbard, is the fact that my first boss that I worked for, he had something to say on an occasion like this. He said, you know what? Jealousy is a serious form of flattery.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And also concerning the people scared about the worldwide recession, I think what they need to do is get together and see what they can do to improve things and get in line. That would take care of the problem with the recession.
Well, and once again, I think you're right there on jealousy being the most sincere form of flattery, but I also think that they don't like that she's an independent thinker. I don't think they're